Well, Pop, we're back for another episode. They ain't canceled us yet.
Hey, that's a plus.
Well, guys,
Uh,
welcome to another episode of J and J Music Show, and today we are literally joined by a J, Mr. J. David. You might recognize him from Brenda Lee, as well as Dr. Hook in the Medicine Show. I think you also were, was it Riders of the Purple Sage as well? Can you hear me, Jay? Hello?
I don't know if he can hear you or not.
Jay, oh, he backed out. Well, Daddy, you went down to Michigan yesterday, huh?
Yeah, they're up. I could tell I was going north because hell, I left here. The temperature was 60, and time I got up there, it was 49 degrees. I had to stop at a truck stop and get me a jacket. Oh hell!
Damn,
Plus the cold rain.
you would think it'd be getting warm around this time of year.
Jeez, up there, man, it was like a 10, anywhere between 10 15 degree difference, and rain on top of it being cold. And I was a short sleeve shirt, I thought, damn, I might stop and get me a coat.
Yeah, he must have run into some kind of technical difficulty.
I think he was having problems with his headset, or he couldn't hear to start with. He might have backed out to get back in or something.
Yeah, we'll give him a minute. Other than that, how's your week been, Pup?
Pretty good, pretty good. I ain't done nothing but rain here. I don't know about everywhere else, but boy, if it don't rain anywhere, it rains here.
Yeah, it's been gloomy here, and the rain's been kind of off and on, but that's about it. Other than that, been okay.
I don't know if you watched any news from around here, but man, everything in Huntington was flooded yesterday. Everything.
My Guyandotte flooded, or the Ohio River?
Well, all the Ohio and not so much the Ohio, but all the creeks and everything that run into the Guyandotte River and the Ohio. I mean, they had flash floods everywhere. Where it rains so hard, so quick, and the water didn't have anywhere to go. I don't guess. I'm glad I was in Michigan. Kind of. It rained there, but it didn't flood.
There he is.
Yeah.
I guess when I played my intro, I messed you up or something, huh, Jay?
No, I don't know what I did. I just knocked myself out of the loop there. But I'm back.
No.
I've felt that way several times. Out of the loop. I can't even find the loop.
Yeah, I am the loop. I feel.
No, when I was introducing you, I said that you had played with Brenda Lee, Dr. Hook. I think was it Riders of the Purple Sage?
No, not the new writers. David Crow.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, Dan Hicks. Long, varied career I've had.
Man, I got to interject there for a minute. I can't imagine going from Dr. Hook to Brenda Lee.
No, it was vice versa. He was Brenda Lee first, and then Dr.
Hook. Yeah.
Yeah, and Brenda Lee was in the 60s. Dr. Hook was in the 70s. Crosby was in the 80s, and in between was a lot of partying.
Yeah. That's a hell of a transition there.
Yeah. Well, now.
Yeah, because you had replaced Popeye Phillips, correct, in the band.
I never knew Popeye. They had a local, and I don't recall his name, but they felt he was a little bit over his head when they started getting serious as a career. So I was a studio musician at the time, and so I was asked to come over and sit in with these guys, and I had already heard Dennis, whose voice I'm crazy for, love it, singing a song that I was crazy for called The Last Morning, and I was told that song was going to be the title song for a Dustin Hoffman movie, who would have Kellerman. So it was of interest to me to go and sit in with these guys. I did. They liked it, and so that's how I became what some would call the original drummer. But there were drummers before me, and there were drummers after me. But I did the first 3 albums.
Well,
Yeah.
you're the reason from what I've read, you're kind of the reason why that Dr. Hook even got signed because it according to legend, you played drums on a wastebasket in Clive Davis's office. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, it's true. They went up. We went up for our audition. They no longer use it. It's called the Big Black Rock, and it was the CBS building at the time. They took us up to, I don't know, the 80th floor or something, and out we come, and here's Clive with one of his vice presidents greeting us, and they walked us right into a rehearsal studio. I got as far as those 2 seats in the stage, and I said, Clive, where is your office? He said, it's right across the hall. And I turned right around and walked in there and said, you mind if I use you? He said, no. He was dumbfounded. He had no idea what was going on. I picked up his trash can, turned it over on a beautiful kidney-shaped marble desk, and I was tapping on it. And then Dennis and Ray took out some acoustic guitars, and George and Billy were dancing, doing a chicken strut, like um, the band signed a deal that day. So,
Now they weren't just dancing; they were dancing on his desk. Correct? Didn't they get a?
we were dancing for our lives, really.
Well, it worked. Hell.
Yeah, had he auditioned us like, all I was thinking of, Jesus Christ, Chicago auditioned like this in blood, sweat, and tears. Killed. They're not even gonna throw us out. They're just gonna call the cops, So we got to make this work some way different. So that's what I did. Yeah, Clive put it in his book. In fact, he said the strangest audition he ever had. Yeah.
And he's had some wild acts come across his desk. I can tell you that from what I've read. So
yeah, it was good. It all worked out. It all worked. Yeah.
I just wish I could go back in time or be a fly on the wall that day to see that.
Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy because it was just being a vice president. I think it was Kip. I think vice president, and so I did it out of panic. Really, I mean, on stage to go play. We started playing. We were good, but we sounded a lot of bands to me. Because I already had a world of experience. Having played with Brenda and played with a lot of local bands that were really, really good. So I don't think I would have signed us. Yeah.
Whatever it takes, the old saying, whatever it takes.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly.
No, I mean, me and Dad have talked about it quite a bit. I've always, a lot of people say, "Well, Dr. Hook and Medicine Show, that's rock and roll." Yeah, I mean it is, but I've always looked at you all as kind of like outlaw country too.
Yeah. That's sort of the way I looked at it. That's the kind of music we like the best. And yeah, before we had us record a lot of. We did all Shel Silverstein songs at first, and so he was such a great writer. So it all worked out. We were singing his songs, and yeah.
Now, were you the drummer on that Brenda Lee song, "Rocking Around the Christmas Tree"?
I was not. That was before me.
Okay.
I played on. She had a hit record called "Coming On Strong," and I'm on that.
Yeah. I remember that song.
Yeah, "Coming On
Yeah.
Strong," boom, boom, bop, boom, boom, bop, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had me. They flew me out from New York City to Jackson, Mississippi. You want to talk about culture shock? I felt like
Yeah.
flying 50 years back. It was. And so that's I learned 2 complete 1-hour shows the afternoon I landed to do them both that night. These 2 1-hour shows, and I nailed it. I nailed it. I had really a whole bunch of notes on a big yellow pad by my drums. I'd be looking down and, all right, get up and sing background. Okay. You know, so I did a lot of stuff. And in fact,
one of those where you look back and say, how in the hell did I do that?
Yeah, exactly. I introduced, talk about culture shock. I introduced Brenda to Woody Allen one night at a place called, what was it called? I don't know. It was a coffee place right up in North San Francisco, and we were playing Fairmont Venetian Room, and so she and I went to see Errol Garner play, the jazz keyboardist, and we went to go get some coffee. There's Woody sitting by himself. I said, Woody, do you know Brenda? Oh, yeah. And neither one of them had a clue who the other one was.
Typical celebrities, like, yeah, I know you, and then inside they're going, I have no fucking clue who this is.
Yeah. The lead. That's like, Hee Haw meets Manhattan, you know. So
is Brenda still alive or doing anything? I don't know. I've not kept up with her career or anything.
Still alive. I don't know if she's touring. I don't really know. Don't know. Can't tell you.
Yeah, she'd be getting up there in years pretty good, would she?
Yeah, it does happen if you stick around long enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like here this year especially, we've lost, a lot of people that are young, basically, like Gilbert Gottfried and stuff. That's been weird. It's like, damn, these were people that ain't even that old.
Yeah, I know. And me, who didn't take care of myself, I'm going to be 80 in 3 months. So go figure, you know.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, a while ago, I was sitting talking with my brother, and we was wondering how old Willie Nelson was. So I pulled it up, and Willie is 89 years old, and I'm thinking, how in the world did he live that long? I mean, hell, he's wore out 2 or 3 bodies. He's had to, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They asked him when he turned 70, Willie, how you feel? He said, I'm okay, but my dick died.
Yeah, that happens a lot. You know?
Yeah, it does, man. I'm telling you. Yeah.
I think it was Tommy Chong that once said, he said, somebody brought that up to him, why he's still so, young looking, even in his 80s. He goes, well, I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and that was back when the sex was good and the drugs were clean.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody was stepping on anything in those days. It was all good. It's amazing that people like me came through, though. But some of us are gonna.
Well, they did have back then, as far as the drug part of it went, they had a little bit of quality control. I'll tell you something. It's hard to tell what's out there.
Yeah, that's right. If you were to take a picture of me back in the 80s, you'd probably see a great big quaalude from.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's like the Johnny Depp movie. Ever since this Johnny Depp trial's been going on, I watched Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas last night, and I was sitting there watching that, and I got done. I laughed my ass off of that movie. I've read the book, and I'm sitting there going, the only reason Hunter S. Thompson is dead is because he killed himself.
Yeah.
All the fucking drugs that this guy pumped in his body didn't kill him. He killed himself.
Yeah.
I was in Sausalito, California, and I was in a small grocery store down the block from my apartment. And this guy says, hey, can you reach that alcohol up there? And I turn around and it's Thompson. I said, you're 4 inches, 5 inches taller than I am. You get it. And it's a kid. He was laughing. I don't know what the hell he thought he was doing by telling me to go get him. Come on, man.
You're in for a good time when you hang out with a guy whose symbol for his writing is a fist holding a mescaline pod.
Cool.
Did you ever see? Did you ever hear how when they cremated him, they shot his ashes out of a cannon. Johnny Depp built a cannon and shot his ashes out of it because that's what he wanted.
Yeah, perfect.
Jesus Christ!
Go out with a bang.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that was it, huh? Yeah. So I got this book. I got this book coming out, and called "Don't Blame the Music," and it's got a lot of these anecdotes and a whole lot more in stuff, and so I'm looking forward to doing that. Getting that done. I got about another chapter and a half to, then I'll be done. I'm going to write about uh, the rest of my experiences with Dr. Hook and the medicine show, and then the last chapter is going to be on how I got sober. So, because it's, I got high for 50 years, man. And but I'm sober when I was 15. And so I'm very grateful for that,
Well, people don't realize. I mean that the rock star lifestyle will take a toll on you. I mean, the touring, the having to make dates, and you just get worn down. And I mean, because I've heard people say, "Well, why is so many musicians always, hooked on different drugs?" And this, I was like, "Have you ever seen their schedules and what they have to do to make shows, make towns?" I was like,
Yeah.
"No rest for the weary."
Yeah. You have to be working mostly every night, or day, depending on what kind of gig you got. But because you have a tour bus, and if you rent the tour bus back 30 years ago, that was going to cost you $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have some money coming in, then all of a sudden you're going to owe your bus driver money. You're going to owe the company you rented it from money, and it piles up at $1,000 a day. So, you fill it. In 1972, I played a one-nighter 361 days out of the 365.
Jesus
I was
Christ.
115 pounds. Not now. No, my wife just said, not now.
Yeah.
Better listen to the boss.
Yeah, but it's that our management would have us taking gigs no matter where it was, and you don't try and do that to your bands. You try and get
Yeah.
to go in an area, cover that area where they don't have to travel all that far. But hell, we were going from places like Fargo, North Dakota to Dallas. It was like 5 plane rides, and we'd be burnt by the third plane ride, So, but that's what happened. That's what happened. But yeah, I'm going to a Cocaine Anonymous meeting tonight, and and my wife and myself, we be of service now these days. Once a month, we go into the women's prison out here in Los Angeles, and we share our experience and strength and hope with these gals, and hopefully they'll find some of their story in our story. That's how. Yeah.
That's people don't give well, I was one, I've been sober for a little while myself. My drug of choice was alcohol,
Uh-huh.
What I can say about alcohol, when drugs wasn't there, which I never was into the drugs too much. I'd try anything at least once, but alcohol was always on the table,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and speaking of meetings, hell, I got a meeting tonight, at 6:30.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Me too.
I've found those meetings and people sharing, that's what keeps me going. It feeds me.
Sure. When I first started going, I was just pissed off at the differences, and then that went away when I started seeing the similarity, because I was, what the hell is he talking? Yeah, sure. What does he know? It just resentment. I was really just pissed off at myself. And then I found
Yeah.
out my wife. my child bride. We've been married for 12 years now, and so uh, she's got such bad taste in men. I don't know.
Well, that's one reason you stay straight, though, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That is one reason, but I got to do that. I have to do that. You know, the big deal for me was when I first got sober was I didn't think I could play again. You know, 'cause
Exactly. I know the feeling.
I always played high, and so um, it was good to find out that I could, but then I was running out of energy and I could hardly breathe, and so I later got diagnosed with COPD, and because I smoked for over 50 years, and so uh, that's why I ran out of breath. I couldn't breathe when I was doing it, so I didn't know what it was. You know, I just thought it was I got to keep playing more, but I couldn't keep going that way. So that's that, and that ended with me starting to write the book. This pandemic thing, the doctor told me, Jay, you stay home, and I did for 2.5 years. And March 12th, 2020, actually, is when the specific date. And so I began to approach my life with a different point of view, you know, looking back on it, which was not always the easiest. You know.
No, I mean, my daddy, I mean, he got COVID there, and thank God it didn't affect him too bad, but it worried me, you know, because
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
shit, you know, because you're constantly looking at the news all the time, and it's like, well, damn, people are just dropping dead left and right from this
yeah,
thing, and then,
yeah. The thing that
you know,
bothered me the most was if I get it and I go into the hospital, I don't want to die without ever touching my wife, without ever,
Yeah.
you know, that's so sad. I can only stay behind a window and wave. You can't touch. So you die alone with that.
Yeah,
yeah,
so many people, so many. I think the death toll in the United States the other day, I think I was watching one of those morning news shows that had reached 1 million people. And you figure,
Yeah,
especially early in COVID, how many left this world without even, a family member being there. I mean, that's sad.
yeah. Well, that's it. You couldn't go in the room where the person. Yeah, that's is sad and terrifying. Yeah, I didn't want
yeah,
to, you know, because I got pneumonia and before that, and I collapsed and stuff, and so we didn't know what the hell I had, but I had pneumonia. So
yeah, Pop, you got pneumonia and then turned around right behind that and got the damn COVID, so it was like,
Yeah, I went to,
that's cool. What I did was my wife got me to line up first for all the shots and boosters and everything. So uh, yeah, so we're good. We've been good. She tells me what to do, but it's good.
well, everybody needs a boss.
Yeah, my child bride, you know, that's her. But anyway, uh,
yeah,
what do you play, Johnny?
Guitar is my main instrument, but I was saying last week I can get by on bluegrass style. I can get by on mandolin,
Oh yeah, huh? Oh,
bass. Guitar has always been my main instrument, my fallback, whatever you want to call it. If I reach and grab one, it's going to be the guitar.
uh huh. Okay, mandolin. I love a mandolin in bluegrass.
Yeah,
I love bluegrass.
yeah, I
yeah,
love
me,
the sound of a mandolin. Just I can put myself to sleep.
and me at 46 years of age, I've just started playing guitar. I finally took it serious to learn.
Good, good.
Yes, I'm late to the party, and you would think, being the son of a guitarist, I would have picked it up a long time ago. But I tell people, John Evans right here was not a patient person growing up, and I just didn't have the patience for it at all. It was like, if I can't learn to play it like Eddie Van Halen on the first go, fuck it, I'm not playing it
Oh,
again.
oh, yeah, yeah.
And,
Well,
and it,
I was driven to play. I had to play. I sang on a radio show when I was 2.5, and picked up the drums really early in life, and just I never let go of them. And even when I got to the point that my own family said, "Jay, you gotta get a regular job." No, I don't. No, you know. So
Well, I know reading about you, you drove your family crazy because you were banging on everything in the house as a kid.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, dinner at our house was a matter of, hey, Dad, would you drink a little bit of that milk because it's a little out of tune with what this boy.
That's a good one.
This boy's crazy.
And see, that's been the common theme. I have read that about so many drummers. I just read Peter Criss's book, Peter Criss from Kiss,
Uh huh.
and he was the same way. He was like, I would just beat and bang on everything in the house.
Yeah,
I would find a beat on everything.
and I still do that. We have a washer dryer. When we had an old washer, it would go into its last cycle, and it would go boom, 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 boom. And so I really, made me want to shout, and then, nothing changed. I was still doing the same thing, and that's where I go. I relate via songs. I've always been a drummer.
Hey Jay, let me ask you a question. I've heard old Joe. What's his last name, son? The Eagles.
Joe Walsh.
Yeah, Joe Walsh. He would sit around and play riffs, and he would record those things.
Uh huh.
It's like life in a fast lane,
Yeah.
And then he would send those riffs to Don Henley, Glenn Fry, and they would kind of build a song around, that riff.
Uh-huh.
And I have never, they probably have, but I know I never heard it. Has anybody ever built a song around a drum, beat?
I'm sure it's happened. I can't recall anything off my head. It hasn't happened. Oh wait, actually, when I was a staff drummer at Mercury Records in the '60s, after Brenda, and before Dr. Hook, I recorded an old rock and roll song called "Little Bitty Pretty One."
Yeah.
So I didn't use regular drums. I used 2 tom-toms, and I used a breadcrumbs, and I just got, and I sang the bass line. I just got some sort of earth beat going on, and I brought it to Mercury, and they loved it and signed me to a deal. So there's something I did, which was drum oriented, but that's about as close.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
There was a song, Billy Squire's "Stroke." I've always wondered if they built that song around the drum beat because the drums is so prevalent in that song from, especially from the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can listen to one of our Hook songs called "If I'd Almost Come and Gone," and you'll hear. I started that one with the drum lick, and that brought everybody into the song. So yeah, I guess that's about as close as I got to that. Yeah, and so I got an editor, and I'm gonna be selling it on Amazon. The vendor on Amazon, and because I'm told that you don't have to land 50 copies of your book. You land one of them, and they print it up every time you sell one. So I thought, geez, that's cool. They don't charge me, so all right.
Yeah, I know people hate on Jeff Bezos all the time because he is basically the richest man upon the earth, but he has established a business that allows people to put their art out there and not have to jump through hoops and different things, and that's been cool.
Yeah, they take a percentage, and that's how they make their money. Okay, I'm all for it.
It makes everybody money,
Yeah, that's right. That's so, and I'm getting the photos together for it and stuff, and it should be pretty good, I think. You know what I mean? Is the story about me being the only time I was ever a wedding band leader, the Mafia wedding, that's in there.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the black spaghetti story.
Yeah, that's in there. That's a chapter.
I haven't
Yeah,
heard that one.
I did that one. I did that one as a one man comedy show, I guess you could call it. They announced me. I came on stage and played a little drums, and then I got up and told them that story. And people really liked it a lot, you know, because it's crazy. It's crazy because it really, you know.
Could, could you share the story with us, Jay?
Can I? Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give you a quick version of it. I was seen by a member of the Mafia who I choose not to name at this point, and I know what's good for me, what's not good for me. And so he said, "Hey kid, you want to play at my daughter's wedding?" This being like December of '65, I think. "You want to play at my daughter's wedding? It's next June in Brooklyn. You want to do that?" I said, "Well, sure. Thank you, sir." He said, "No, call me Sal." All right, Sal says. So he says, "This guy's going to pay you half the money now. Get the other half when you play next year. You're going to do that?" I said, "Sure, who absolutely, you know." Yep. So between December of '65 and June of '66, I changed completely. My hair grew down 6 or 7 inches, and now I'm all hippie Jay. And I was dealing acid at that point, and so I always carried 30 or 40 tabs with me because you never know if you're going to need them or not, you know. And so I dropped a tab and I drove on over to Brooklyn and found the hall, and it was a strange hall because you open the front door and right to the right of the front door was the stage. And I thought, well, that's crazy because the banquet room was all the way in the back, you know, about 30 yards in the back, down the end of the long hallway. And down there they had the, the ice sculpture, things like that, and the bar, and that's where all the people sit. But the band was by the front door. You know, it didn't make too much sense. But the acid kicked in for me, and I was, okay. And so I hired 3 guys from Long Island University to be my band, and Tommy, Jimmy, and Wally, and they showed up, and I had a hell of a buzz going by that time. And Tommy says, "Hey Jay, you got any pot?" I said, "No, but I got something else."
Yeah.
I got something else. He said, "What do you got?" I said, "LSD, acid." You know, wow, Jay has acid, just like what we've been reading, you know, because they never got high on acid before. So I gave each of them a tab, and finished up my drums. And the first time I realized how bad I fucked up was when the guitar player said, Jay, black spaghetti, Jay." And I said, "Black." Talking about, and he was talking about the curly Q black wires coming out of his guitar into the amp. He called it black spaghetti, you know. I realized, oh boy, this is at which point I couldn't find the keyboard player, Wally, and I asked those 2 other guys. They had no idea. It was it was really coming on now, the acid. So so I walked down the hall where the banquet room was, and here's Wally. He's stretched out and he's cuddling, he's hugging one of the ice sculptures, and soaking wet now from a night, you know. And I said, "Wally, come on, man, you're soaking wet. You got to go play. You're gonna electrocute yourself." At which point the maitre d says, "All right, start the band." I said, "Okay." So I bring Wally back to the stage by the door, and because I'm the leader, I started the song. I said, "Okay, ready? Dan 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 forward, dan 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 dan," and off we go. And then they let the wedding party come in. Thousands of Sicilians walked past us, and I realized how bad I fucked up when I saw them mouth "Happy Birthday to You," and I realized I sang the wrong song to these guys. And instead of dun, 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 I sang dun, 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 dun. And once you do that, you can't get out of that shit.
Can't
Man.
take it back.
Dun, 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 dun. Well, we went on about 30 choruses, and I'm crying. I'm laughing so hard. And, it's crazy. And these guys were all playing their asses off at a song that wasn't supposed to be there. And so when we finally got to the end, it was "Happy Birthday to You." It was a sound in the whole hall.
How did it sound like it?
Sal came walking out. He says, "Here's the rest of your fucking money. Get the fuck out of here."
Did you get the other half of your money?
Yeah, but half our money. But then I said to Wally, says, I said, "Pack up the stuff, fellas. We're getting out." And he said, "Why? What happened?" And I told them what I had done, and they were dumbfounded. They had no idea. So that was my one and only time at being a wedding band leader. I wouldn't do it. Yeah, if you offered it to me, I wouldn't take it. You know?
Yeah, at a Sicilian Mafia wedding, no doubt.
Oh boy, craziness, crazy shit.
That sounds. Ain't no wonder you fit right in with Dr. Hook.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'd go into a different country, and Ray had lost an eye in a car crash, and he had a well, at first he got a Confederate flag eyeball. It's the ugliest looking thing. You have the sort of stars and bars, you know what the hell to look at. And so we said, "Ray, lose the eyeball, would you?" So that's when he got the patch.
Yeah.
And we found when we were going to different countries, because we started getting a reputation for being rowdy and having drugs, they'd search us everywhere. So we used to be able to fit just slightly less than a quarter ounce of whatever we had in Ray's eye socket.
Shit.
I never thought to look there for it. You know what I mean?
That's like lean over here, Ray. Let me.
We'd get to where we were going, and we'd say, "Ray, break it out," and he'd lift up the patch and pull out whatever we were bringing. So, we do what we're very inventive, and we do what we have to get our drugs across the border.
And sadly, Ray just passed away not too long ago, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I often wondered what took his eye. You say it was an auto accident?
Yeah, he decided to quit the music business and go up to Oregon and be a lumberjack. And he had a sack full of uppers, and he was taking his uppers and somehow got in a crash. And around then, that was before me, but yeah. So
it never did affect his humor,
No, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
I can imagine on the plane, opening up the patch and like, "Here you go, boys."
Oh yeah. If somebody saw us, like people from Columbia Records would come and visit with us, we'd ask Ray to take it out. He'd take it out, and they'd see the socket, and they go, "Oh my God,
put it back."
Yeah. Crazy stuff. And and then after Dr. Hook, to go and put a band together with David Crosby, that's like out of the frying pan right directly into the fire,
Yeah. David Crosby was a wild man too.
Oh boy. Yeah. And so I got some, although I'm not going to point the finger directly at David for the drug stories, because that's already been plenty covered. I'm going to be talking about the funny stuff that happened, and because a lot of funny shit went down with Crosby. And yeah.
How do we get a copy of the book? Is it already out, or are you getting ready to finish it? That's what.
No, John, it's not out yet. I haven't finished it. I got about a chapter and a half to go. Then we had, and then that'll be the first draft. So I'm probably about 2 months away if we work fast. And but I'll let you all know. In fact,
Absolutely.
Yeah, you could send me an email if you will to don't blame the music at yahoo.com and just fill me in with the I'll get your email address from there, and if although I got it now, but I'll send you all an email when it does come out if you want to pick one up.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to read that.
Yeah.
We were talking last week about room trashing.
Room trashing.
Yeah. Joe Walsh somehow got paired
John
up with John Belushi somewhere, and it's $30,000, I think, in damage that them two done in a motel.
Yeah.
And they said it held the record back then. I don't know. It seemed to me like it probably still would. I mean, shit, $30,000 in one motel room, you just about have to destroy everything in there.
Yeah. No, we never did anything like that. The only thing I ever did was that they had the decor of palm trees in the Holiday Inns in those days. And I would always just draw a little Japanese sniper in one of the palm trees. Back in there, I'd see the sniper. Yeah, we've been here before. We didn't throw anything out. We put something on. Yeah.
You got that little laugh that when you say something like you talking about the sniper, then you come back with a, you can tell you really enjoyed what the hell you can do.
Oh yeah, I loved it. The big glasses and buck teeth, a caricature.
Yeah.
Just imagine just a person's walking into the hotel and they look in that tray. Oh, this is wonderful wallpaper. Is that a sniper?
Yeah, that looks like a rifle. Yeah.
What's that autograph say next to J. David?
Yeah, right. I never signed shit though.
You can't blame me for it.
Yeah. Oh no.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah, that's right. I'll drink the fifth.
I know what kind of shape. Like when they put the Eagles back together and went to Joe Walsh. He was down there bad.
Yeah.
And that was one promise that he made. Like you boys get it back together, and I promise you I'll get sober. And he was talking about sobriety, a while ago, and that rung a bell with me because my sobriety and what it means to me to stay there. But I applaud you for doing 12 years, man. That's great.
15 actually.
15, yeah.
15 years and 9 months. And yeah, my wife has 16 years, so she always 16 years and 9 months. Yes, dear.
And she'll never let you forget it.
Never let me forget it. He's my sober cougar, you know what I mean? Yeah. We met in the rooms, and we've been married for 12 years now. And it's never happened. Yeah. I'm the best thing that ever happened to you, honey. Is that what you said? I know you're the best thing that ever happened to me. But selective memory. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna bid you guys good day now because I got to go off and do some writing. And
all right, Jay. Whenever you get your book out, man, just let me know, and I will gladly have you back on because I love sitting here hearing these old stories.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you. And,
Black spaghetti. I'll never forget that one.
I damn near want to call this episode "Sniper in the Bushes."
That works.
Sniper bushes, yeah.
The J. David story.
Sniper in the bushes.
Yeah, catch it before it goes in copy.
Yeah. get some fast food sushi and call it Jap in the Box.
Yeah. Hey, it's been great, man, being with you. Lord, wish you could hang around a little longer.
Yeah, I hear you. But I'm going to go to work now. So, Johnny, John, God bless you both, and thank you, man.
Hey,
Thank
you
you,
too,
Jay.
buddy.
All right. Take care.
You too.
All right now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Woo, he's a character.
Oh, Lord, I can imagine spending a couple months on the road with him. Never a dull moment. Them guys, I mean, they had to keep themselves amused. It was either that or go crazy with the schedules that them guys kept. Man, I can't imagine, like he said, from North Dakota to, Dallas.
Yeah, that ain't just no walk down the street. That's
No, it's 3 or 4 planes, he said. It just goes to show you what them guys went through as far as traveling and no sleep. Or you had to be up here to do what you done, and then eventually you had to get down here to rest a little bit. And that's where all them drugs come in. Get you up while you're doing what you're doing. Then you got to have something to bring you down so you can, lay your head down for a little while. But yeah, some of those stories, man, I don't know, there's a good lesson though. If you hire a band to do a wedding, don't feed them acid. Bottom line.
where they're going to play Happy Birthday at a mafia wedding.
Yeah.
Well, our guest last week was supposed to be Kenny Lewis from Steve Miller Band, and I think I told you I talked to him later on that evening. What happened was he got caught up in rehearsals, and he didn't realize that we were actually doing a live stream. He thought it was going to be pre-recorded, so he called me later on in the evening. Like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry we got caught up in rehearsals. I'm ready to go now." I'm like, "Well, we've already recorded, and Daddy's already in bed, and I'm about to go running around this track." And so we rescheduled for, let me see here. I got a text message. Pull it up. Where you at, Kenny Lee Lewis? Right here, June 11th at around 6 o'clock his time on Pacific, which would be around 9 Eastern. So I don't know if you'll make that one, will you, Pop? Because you'll be...
9, I can make that, yeah.
Okay. I know that's about the time you go to bed, 10 o'clock.
That's when I get ready to go to bed. It's usually about midnight before I actually get to sleep. But yeah, I can make that easy.
So he promised to make that up, and it happens. I can't be mad at a musician because look, it's hard to control your schedule when you're
Yeah, and they got so much going through their head schedule wise, got to do this, got to do this, got to do this, and to forget about a show that is live and you're thinking it's, recorded. I mean, that's easy to do. But at least he's going to come on, make it up. So that's a good thing.
Yep. Well,
hell, talking about schedules, I thought this thing was tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I thought, damn. It's just lucky I picked my phone up and I had the text and you sent me the link. I thought, well, hell, hello.
No, it was today. Tomorrow I got on the other podcast, I got Susan Lanier coming on. She was supposed to be the original Chris was it Chrissy or Christy? Chrissy Snow on Three's Company. She was actually supposed to she was supposed to be the original, and she got beat out by Suzanne Summers.
That's pretty cool. I mean, it ain't cool for her, but it's pretty, good to talk to somebody like that.
Well, I can't wait to talk to her about it because what little bit I've researched, Suzanne Summers wasn't the easiest person in the world to work with on that set.
That's what I heard over the years. I don't know. So
I wonder if maybe those producers and stuff later on down the road are like, damn, we should have kept Susan Lanier. And
yeah. That was a good show too, and you'd never think that she would be hard to work with. Watching the show, you'd think, hell, she's just happy-go-lucky, but it just goes to show you can't never tell.
I still say John Ritter and Don Knotts made that show, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Old Don, the property owner, the landlord.
What part of West Virginia was Don Knotts from?
I'm not
Morgantown?
sure. I've heard, and I've also heard he's not even from West Virginia. So I don't. It's like Nick Nolte. They said he was from somewhere in West Virginia. Well, I pulled up his bio, and it don't mention anything about West Virginia. And
Well,
Steve Harvey, they say he's from Welch, West Virginia. And I think they have proved that, but I'm not sure.
Well, I do know the famous basketball player and executive Jerry West is from West Virginia because there's a big old sign in his hometown that says "Home of Jerry West."
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
And he was University of West Virginia superstar too, wasn't he? I mean, my God, he's basically still got it. That's cool.
Yeah, they got bridges and ditches and everything else with Jerry West on it on the way to Morgantown. Jerry West ditch.
Who else? Brad Paisley. He's from West Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah, we got just right here in this area, we probably got 1,000 kids named Paisley, after Brad Paisley.
Well, that might tell you something.
Everybody wants to name their young and Paisley, boy or girl, don't matter.
How about John Denver? Was he from West Virginia?
No, I think he was originally from a lot of the songs that he sung was talking about like Wyoming, Montana, but I think he was from Montana.
Well, I know he loved West Virginia because, I mean, one of his biggest hits was about West Virginia. Country Road.
Yeah, and I think that's what misled a lot of people thinking he was from West Virginia was that song, which is, we still play that today, sing it and play it. Good song.
That's
hard song to play.
I wish that was a guy that was still around because I'd love to talk to him too, John Denver.
Yeah, he was definitely talented.
You talk about an underrated guitarist. People don't associate John Denver as a great guitarist, but if you really listen to his music, like listen to it, dude was
just sit down and play. Well, a simple one would be "Take Me Home, Country Roads." I mean, the West Virginia song. I mean, if you sit down and actually the chord progression in that song, I mean, it's unreal. I just about got it charted out myself, and I played it 100 times. To just keep up with it, I've got to have it in front of me almost. There's a lot of chord changes in that.
See, kids nowadays don't realize because they want. So I've been learning chords since you told me that was really important. I've been practicing chords and stuff, and I've realized something. A lot of kids nowadays, and even people my age that pick up a guitar, they got these tab books out there, so it's easy to pick up and start playing your favorite song. So yeah, you can easily, 5th fret, 3rd fret, whatever, and the timing of the song, what the metronome is. So tab books are basically a cheat sheet, but here's the thing. You can learn that song, but if you don't learn the chord, you've really not learned anything.
Yeah, and you get spare time after a while. Pick your guitar up and pull up "Take Me Home, Country Roads" and just pull the chord changes up. And you'll see what I'm talking about, learning those chords. Because if you're sitting in that John Denver session and or just sitting with somebody jamming, I go out here tonight and get with 3 or 4 guys jamming, and they happen to play that song, and I'm sitting there with my acoustic. I'm gonna get lost because there's a lot of chord changes in that simple song. And without those chords, man, you can't. That's your foundation.
And it's a very fluid finger picking too. I mean, you ain't missing a beat.
And it's just chord after chord after chord. I mean, just like with his vocal, you follow where he's going with the vocal, but still, those chords. If you don't know those, you done, like I said, you lost your foundation.
Yep. And me here recently playing chords, it's like I'm sitting there going, damn, this before tab books, this is how my father and others learned to play guitars. It was mapping out the chords of each song and putting it together like Lego blocks.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, well, shit, the tabs is just, it's a cheat sheet and it's really not teaching you anything.
No, it's really to start out like that. I mean, you're hurting yourself. You're cheating yourself, really. because you learn all that tab. You learn the tabs to, certain song, go somewhere and play. And that's all you know is what you learn on that tab sheet. I mean, that's you're cheating yourself out of the music, really.
That's like not last night, night before last, I started practicing some basic chords, and then I rolled over and started looking at jazz, or not jazz, but blues chords. And I was like, damn, blues chords are simple, but every damn one is a bar chord in it.
Yeah. Yeah, because them guys, we was talking about capos last week. Them guys can't use no capo, So they got a bar that thing everywhere they go.
But that's why a lot of them wear a slide on their finger, because
keep that first finger open,
Yeah, blues chord, every note of every chord is basically bar.
Yeah.
a bar.
Yeah. Who was it? Oh, it was Kenny Lee that we was going to talk to last week that actually played with B.B. King a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested. June 11th, because I would always loved B.B. King to me when it comes to blues. And there's a whole lot better out there, a whole lot better guitar players. But B.B. King had his own. When you heard B.B. King, you turn your radio on and B.B. King be on there and not singing, playing. And I could pick him out of the radio and say, hey, that is B.B. King. He had his own style. Him and Lucille, they went a long way.
Yeah, Yep, he would show up on stage and Lucille would do most of the singing. What kind of guitar was it he played? Was that an old Gretsch?
I don't know if that was a Gretsch or a Gibson, 335 Gibson.
Might have been a Gibson, 335 Gibson, I think. But I swear it looks like in one of them old big body Gretches, one of them old hollow bodies. I know
that's what he had on the neck of the guitar, Lucille.
I know I watched a kid the other night. This was before BB had passed. I guess he brought some kid up on stage from the local area, and the kid was matching him note for note, and BB's just sitting there going, like, damn.
I mean, BB wasn't hard to play, but it's the way he done it. I mean, it's like Willie Nelson. I mean, you can sit, and they've even you can go to YouTube and pull up Willie Nelson licks and sit there and do it. But nobody will ever copy B.B. King, Willie Nelson, people like that, lick for lick, and make it sound the way they do, I mean, they got their own, I don't know. Willie Nelson plays out of time. I don't know how his band plays with him. Sit down sometime and listen to some of his songs, and his vocals will be a half step below what the actual music is. And man, he's made it work all these years, so don't change it, Willie.
There's this hard rock, it's basically a metal band out there. I know you've never listened to them. They're called Mudvayne, but their bass player, he's basically a jazz bassist when you really listen at him. But when you listen to his groove and his bass riff, it is completely different from the drum and the guitar and everything. I mean, it's like he's off doing his own thing, and it's like, damn, how in the hell is this band even functioning? Because he's like off in space over here, and they're off on it, and they're doing something else. But that makes their sound unique.
Yeah, and they make it work, Yeah. Willie, man, he made it work for I don't know how many years. He's 89 years old, so and some of the songs that guys wrote, I can't believe he had to have been smoking something when he wrote "We All Live in a Yellow Submarine," the Beatles. I mean, come on, Willie.
Well, hell, they say that he's still got songs out there that he still got put away that he's never even released. Like there's just books upon books and recordings upon recordings of shit that he ain't even put out yet.
Yeah, and you could turn the radio on and not even listen to Willie. Just listen to all these, especially the older country singers. And if you sit and listen to that radio for 8 hours, I'll guarantee you 20 songs that you hear over that period, even though they're not sung by Willie, I guarantee you Willie wrote them. Patsy Cline, I mean, Willie wrote a lot of Patsy Cline stuff. Go out walking after midnight. And some of the songs that she really put number one, Willie Nelson was the writer, you know.
I know I was listening to an interview with Wolfgang Van Halen, who is the son of the late Eddie Van Halen, and they were asking him about his father's famous 5150 studio that he has at the house. And I guess Eddie and Alex, they said there's like, at least he said on a rough estimate, like 2,000 unreleased tracks that Alex and Eddie have recorded in that studio. 2,000. Jesus God.
Time for Wolfgang to get busy and start getting something out.
Well, Wolf's doing his own thing now. You know, he's got his own group. And that kid, he can play drums, bass, guitar, sing. I mean, to me, he's more rounded than his father. His father was piano and guitar.
Yeah.
But was never known for his singing voice, you know. But
yeah. I don't know. He'll never feel daddy's shoes, though. You know, a lot of times you can be better than daddy is, but you'll never feel daddy's shoes. That's like Hank Jr. Especially the old timers. They won't even listen to Hank Jr. because they're Hank Williams, you know, born and bred Hank Williams. And they hear Hank and they think it's like blasphemy or something.
Yeah, because he's got that rock and roll vibe.
Yeah, and he's wild, you know, which I don't know where they get. Some of them will down him for being so wild, but what the hell do they think his daddy was?
Yeah, Hank Senior weren't no angel.
No, he didn't take up the offering on Sunday morning, I'll tell you that.
People don't realize them old country boys, especially them old country singers, they lived life hard too.
Yeah, and you figure, well, just like Jay David talking, you know, a show from here to, you know, there, and they're catching 3 or 4 planes to do it. Back in that day, you know, Hank Jr. died in the back of a car going to a concert, or you don't even call them concerts back then, somewhere here in West Virginia where he passed away. But they didn't fly planes, you know, load up in cars and station wagons. That was a big thing back then. You get all your equipment and everybody in one big station wagon. Down the road you went. But them guys, man, they put some miles on. And I've heard some old stories. And they do a show and barely have enough to stop and get a loaf of bread, a pack of bologna, get everybody loaded up, and have enough gas money to get to the next show. You know, that's roughing it.
Yeah, just a bit. Just a bit. I know that band Metallica. I know you've obviously heard of them and maybe listened to them at times. They were talking about the first time they had to go to New York City to record their very first album. They got told, hey, we're going to record your album, but you all are responsible for getting here. So they loaded up into an old car and a U-Haul trailer. And they drove to New York City with most of the band and their equipment in this U-Haul trailer, and the others, I think like 2 up in the car. And then they would switch out and somebody else would take a turn. Now that you've got the internet and all that, you don't even need record companies anymore. You don't even need to travel anywhere. You can upload your shit straight to SoundCloud or YouTube or wherever.
And they finally made it possible for people to record. And in other words, I can be here in Ohio, you're in Hawaii. My guitar player can be in Tennessee, and we can still yet record a project.
Yep.
Not even be in the same room together. You know, it's wild. Technology.
Yep. But there's something about earning your stripes on the road like that makes you appreciate it more, I just feel.
Yeah, you appreciate it more. And then look, Jay David, he wouldn't have the stories he's got had it not been for the road, you know, and the travels that he's done and this and that. And I can't wait to get that book. You need to make sure you get him our email addresses.
I will. Well, Pop, I'm gonna get out of here.
It's been good. Sorry to be late, but
oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
I got lucky. I just picked my phone up and seen that text from you, and I thought that was tomorrow.
Well, you made it. That's all that matters.
Yeah. You on what, YouTube tomorrow?
Yep, on there with Miss Susan Lanier. She was in the 1970, what was it, 77? Hills Have Eyes movie that was done by John Carpenter. I don't know if you remember
Oh,
that
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I remember the title.
She was in that. Was supposed to be Chrissy Snow in Three's Company, and she was in a bunch of other television and stuff back in the. Oh, and she was also in Welcome Back, Kotter too. So,
Well, send me a link. I'll jump on and listen.
alrighty.
Hey, I love you, bud.
Love you, Pop, and everybody out there that watched us today or will watch this later on. Thank you. We'll be getting you some more stuff down the pike. I've reached out to a few people. There's this one kid who has a YouTube channel called Pete's Diary. He has a disability, but I'll send you some of his videos, Pop. That kid can play a guitar. Holy shit.
Yeah, send me some stuff.
But anyway, I'm going to try to reach out to him and his mother and see if we can get him on, because he blows me away of how good he plays. It's like he can hear a song once and boom, just like that, knows how to play it. And it's the damnedest thing. But,
yeah, we need to reach out to right here locally, Bobby Cyrus.
Yeah.
See if we can get him on here. And
I'd like to get what's his name there that back home that runs the studio. See if we get him on.
Mark. Yeah.
Yep. Get Mark Hill on. But yep. We're going to jump off here, guys. Thanks for watching. This has been John. That guy over there, that's John.
Bye, everybody.
And we'll see you again next time on the J&J Music Show.
Later on.